Hi, I'm Daniel, and I'm the Engineering Department Manager here at Sienci Labs.
Hi, my name's Ben. I work with Sienci Labs as a design engineer. After the AltMill 4x4 was released, we've had people asking for the AltMill 2x4 and the AltMill 4x8.
Nearly identical in some ways to the 2x4 and 4x4 AltMills that we've been shipping out now for quite a while. There's some subtle differences, not just the full 8-foot long cutting area, but also a taller Z height, so you'll be able to clear a full 8 inches under the gantry, and then you'll also have a bit more robust construction of some parts, kind of to help stiffen things up with that increased gantry height, but also just to make the machine a bit more production ready as a whole.
When you add height, it ends up becoming less rigid due to that added height. Think about your arm. If you push here, you're able to react against that force a lot easier than if you were to push up here. So added height means less rigidity, the same amount of force has a larger impact on the system. That's why we've beefed up the Y gantry plates and added the gussets for the 4x8.
So as we started engineering the machine, the obvious first challenge is that the Y-axis is now 8 foot long. The main issue that comes with is we can no longer use a ball screw method very reliably to get the kind of speeds that we want. You'll end up with a kind of whipping effect. So kind of like a skipping rope, you'll see the ball screw sort of flail around a bit as you get to high speeds. We settled on a rack and pinion system, and naturally that was the first kind of hurdle we had. And we've done kind of all of our due diligence testing that, making sure it's reliable and still as performant as kind of ball screw technology and suitable for this application and for the people that are going to use this machine.
As you change more and more components, it gets more complex. The production side of assembling the machine gets more complex. So that's a bit of a balancing act there. How many new components are we choosing to integrate into this design versus reusing the same components that we are already producing, buying, and assembling.
People tend to be either something a little bit scrappier that's affordable, or they end up kind of in the range of like a $20,000 or $40,000 big steel CNC router that you don't really need. I guess we're trying to fill the little unserved market where people want something that's very robust and capable for commercial and light industrial use, but they're not trying to break the bank either, or they're just trying to get started. Most people are kind of topping out around the 4 foot by 8 foot range. That's what we decided to target here, and it's a very popular size for this type of machine. Obviously, it's a more expensive machine than the AltMill 4x4 and 2x4, which we sell. So naturally, that's going to attract more kind of commercial and professional users. But that also doesn't mean that a experienced woodworker, beginner, can kind of pick this up and use it for their needs.
Ideologies at the company is accessibility, and that means being able to send this to anybody and send it to them at a reasonable cost.
We always try and build it to be, kind of at the same level as anything we've ever built before. So if you've got experience using a smaller desktop size CNC machine, this is going to be no problem for you to step up to. We decided to split the Y-axis. This is a bit unconventional. It's done on very rarely some other machines, but a lot of engineering power has gone into making sure that that joint happens as reliably and accurately as possible. You've got basically 2 tables split which co-join, and it makes assembly super easy for everyone.
We're going to be doing a lot of the back-end work on the rack alignment in the production area and the packing area when assembling the machines, and before it's shipped to the customer, are in the correct position such that when the customer puts it together, they aren't having to do any rack alignment. Plug and play, I suppose, is a term to use.
We did all of our testing for reliability, precision, backlash, rigidity, which is something a lot of manufacturers don't look at as much. We basically want to build this machine out to be nearly identical performance to our existing 2x4 and 4x4 foot AltMills. The limit switches should be a little bit easier to set up now. Wiring should be a little more manageable now, especially due to the rack and pinion system. Little quality of life improvements that we continue to try and work on. For the maximum travel rate on the X-axis, this is unchanged from the original AltMill. This is going to stay at 16,000 millimeters per minute, or around 600 inches per minute. In the Y-axis, you've got now a maximum of around 25,000 millimeters per minute, or around 1,000 inches per minute.
So the size of your spindle is really what's driving the speed that you can cut?
We will be using the same closed loop motors that have been proven to be super reliable and robust for this type of machine. This is a platform we're planning to build off a lot on in terms of accessories in the coming years. We're very adamant on making sure anything we build is backwards compatible.
Your pass my caliper? A hair is 0.04, so it's in the range of a hair. The machine's accuracy is a hair off, quite literally.
You'll need about 5 foot by 9.5 feet for shop space to fit this machine in, which is pretty efficient for the amount of cutting area that you get out of this, given that we give you a little bit more allowance over 8 foot by 4 foot.
So it's about the size of a small car. You've got a 2-car garage, you've got your car in it and your partner's car in it. Maybe you park your car on the street and you let your partner keep their car in the garage too, but you've got an AltMill as well.
At the end of the day, our benchmark was to build a machine with the same precision, rigidity, and reliability as the AltMill has proven to be.